Hey, let's hop in the car and go to Sparta, Tennessee. I want to introduce you to brothers Dave and Don Sergio. They've invented a unique taste of beer. It's called Calfkiller Brewing Company. Take a look. Just on the other side of Sparta, Tennessee, is a little brewery owned by Dave and Don Sergio. It has an odd name, but once you hear the tale behind the name, it all makes sense. Don explains why they chose the name Calfkiller Brewery.
Well, it actually is the river, as you saw, and it also is the source of our water supply. So we actually use Calfkiller water in the beer.
Of course, the water passes through the Sparta water treatment system first. The Sergio brothers perform their own magic before beginning the process of turning water into beer. Dave tells us how they got started in the first place.
Don actually kind of came up with the idea because we were hanging out with a cousin of ours in Wisconsin, and he had just started making beer, and he's like, man, you guys should really try this out, man. It's not hard. It's you basically can go to the store, you can buy this little can of syrup, you mix it with some water, you let it ferment for a while, and you have beer, and it's awesome, you know. And so what we did is we got in and we were like, yeah, we'll do this. And we did 2 batches like that, and then we started figuring, like, man, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be something else that can make this, like, we can make this our own with. And so we started doing some research and reading, and then from that point on we went to all grain, which means that we were actually buying all the grains that we needed to make beer, and then combining recipes and kind of throwing our own little twist on beers that we had or ideas that we had for different beers and stuff like that.
You know, they say cleanliness is next to godliness. It's even more true when it comes to brewing fine craft beer.
Everything has got to be clean, you know what I'm saying? And actually that's the first thing when you start reading brewing books and whatnot. That's one of the things that everybody emphasizes. And everything's sanitary and good, because you want the yeast to be the thing that's eating the beer as opposed to some microorganism that has gone wild, you know what I'm saying?
Microorganisms gone wild. Sounds like an awesome reality show.
Yeah, it does.
So
actually it does.
Cleanliness is important, not only to produce a safe product, but to maintain the quality and consistency of the beer. And there are a lot of things to keep clean.
I mean, there's tanks to clean, there's lines to clean, there's kegs to clean, there's just any surface that can be cleaned. It's like we try to do as much as we can, because we are, being such a small company, we don't want to have to think about dumping a batch of beer because it got infected
or having
somehow.
A strange beer get out in the world and having somebody take their first sip of Calfkiller beer and go, oh, what is this crap? You know what I'm saying?
Even though Calfkiller has many different flavors and styles of beer, there is one element that stays consistent across the board.
We use the same yeast strain in every beer, and it's actually a yeast strain that originated in Belgium that has now become our house yeast strain. Most breweries will use like different strains of yeast for different beers and this and that. Well, since we make Calfkiller beer, and that was always the way Dave and I were going to run the ship, we use our yeast strain and we use it for every beer.
If you go to a bar and get one of our beers, there's a good chance if they only have one of our taps on the wall, you're going to have a different beer every time you go into that bar, because it's kind of the way our company is set up, to where the beers change as the seasons change, and also as whims that we have. It's like, oh yeah, let's brew this beer. It'll be, you know, and we'll put it out. And so
I got this idea, man.
Yeah, and so what happens is like people can tell, like, when they get that beer from that Calfkiller tap, that it's like, oh yeah, this is a Calfkiller beer. Right. And so everything kind of has this nice continuity that kind of runs between all the beers, even though they're all completely different. There is this nice hint that actually kind of runs through, and you can kind of like automatically go, oh yeah, that's a Calfkiller.
It's like Led Zeppelin albums, you know? Anyways, there is something about like things that are good. We believe that like the continuity does stick, and you go, yeah, that's Calfkiller beer. And we've heard that from different people, you know, since we started. We're like, I can always tell a Calfkiller beer, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I can too.
Yeah.
So, and we're proud of that.
For more information on the Beer Brothers Brewery, go to calfkillerbeer.com. Up next on Southern Snapshot, all your favorite pinball machines in one place. That's all when we come back. It's time to visit Chattanooga Pinball Company.